So I promised myself if I hit 100 followers on Instagram, I'll turn this empty mint box into a mini world. And I hit 100 followers on Instagram, so I'm going to turn this empty box into a mini kitchen. Now don't expect me to make a high level art because I'm just a beginner wanting to try new things. So this is not an educational video or a tutorial. This is just a calm, cozy video that you can play in the background while you're doing your thing and till the end to see how I make this mini kitchen. So I took the tin and I started by sketching out the idea, like how I want the kitchen to be. So today I am planning to make the flooring and the walls. So I started by making the flooring. I rolled out some clay and drew these wood-like patterns on it. Then I used chalk pastels to give it that wood finish. I wanted a slightly warm, cozy tone. So for the walls, I had this rustic kitchen look in mind, like the ones you see in the countryside. So I flattened out some clay and added square tile patterns, shaded it with orange and brown chalk pastels to get that weathered vibe. It was a bit tricky to paste though because the box isn't perfectly flat. There were gaps in the bottom, so I added thin wood-like strips to cover them. Then I noticed a gap in the top, so I used white clay to patch it in and shaded it with little bit of grey. Next I started working on the stove. Now this took me a lot of time, so I thought of sharing you a little story. When I was around 10, I was obsessed with this YouTube channel called Sugar Charm Shop. She used to make miniature food and these tiny little worlds inside walnut shells, pistachio shells, tins, literally anything. I was so amazed at her talent, but I was also scared to try it out myself. I didn't have the clay, but I made my own. I used maida instead of corn flour, added Fevicol, replaced oil with body lotion, no vinegar, and I heated it over a candle. Looking back, I laugh, but I also feel proud because even back then I always found a way to make things work. I still remember she once made a miniature donut shop, and I don't know why I had this strong urge to recreate that. So during summer holidays, every morning I'd collect trash from around the house, old book covers, cardboard bits, anything I could find, and I turned that into a tiny donut shop. That shop was made from cardboard, but the donuts they were made with my homemade maida clay, and honestly I was so proud of it. But since I didn't add vinegar, fungus slowly started to grow and I had to throw it away. I still have some old photos from that time, so I'll share them here. So this is how I am ending day 1 of making this kitchen. I'll continue it tomorrow. So when I started day 2, I noticed that there were gaps in the walls. As you already know, cold porcelain kind of shrinks a bit after drying. To fix that, I took some brown clay and added it like wooden beading. Then I started making the tables and a small stool. I added a tablecloth and just wanted to include a few simple accessories to make it actually feel like a kitchen. I'll let you watch the rest of this part without me interrupting. While I was working on making these tiny daisies, that's when I thought of making a miniature version of DaisySky. Now DaisySky is a cottage themed bear that I sell in my shop. So I made a mini version of DaisySky, but it turned out way too small. So I tried again and made a slightly bigger version. They were too tiny for adding tiny eyes and nose properly, but I'm just glad I started something like this. And now here's the reveal. This is how I made a mini kitchen out of clay, and I also have another mint box which is almost empty. So let me know in the comments what miniature world you would like to see next. And I run a small business and I also have an Insta page where I post short form content. So if you are interested, you can check the links in the description and like, share, subscribe for more such videos.